when I look at the 2020 version of the XFL, it gets criticism it doesn't deserve because it was going well and we had a pandemic that changed all of our lives, right? So what's happened for us is, I wasn't involved in it then, but for us to be able to come back and bring the XFL back, we're committed for the long term. It was easy. A year ago, I was saying the same thing, but people needed to see it. And I think people now realize that, we're in this for the long haul. We're obviously here in St. Louis for the very long haul. And couldn't be more pleased with how the league kicked off in year one. And we look forward to continuing to move the needle in year two and beyond.
How much of it is a pressure off the league's back to go into 2024 to essentially break that spring league curse of we're coming back, we're doing this, we're not just a fad for lack of a better term?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if it's pressure, but it's satisfaction. For us that have worked, so many have worked so hard to get to the place we are today. Super pleased with how it's going. Not satisfied, obviously. Want to continue, to push the needle as far as what we're trying to achieve here. But no, certainly, thrilled to be back and moving forward. Great partners across the board. When it comes to how we deliver the product to our fans from a media standpoint, from a social media standpoint. So, we're going to continue to find ways to improve and grow this great game, advance the game of football, which is what we're all here for, and continue to see where it goes.
How much did the success of St. Louis in terms of the fanfare, how well they played, help the league in terms of popularity and just getting eyeballs onto it?
Well, I'll tell you, when we had the first town hall, I think it was in June of last year, we were laughing at lunch. A year ago today, we didn't have players. We didn't have all of our coaches. We had zero business staff in the markets. So it's incredible what a year has done, right? But sitting at that town hall and seeing the fandom before we played a game here was incredible. It's something I will not forget. And the first home game, I think it was like 20 degrees out, and I went for a run at like 9 a.m. I don't know why I did that, but we went to the parking lot, and there were about 5,000 to 7,000 people in the parking lot then, and I think the game was a 4 o'clock kick or a 3 o'clock kick, and I said, "Wow, this is real." And walking into that first game and seeing the fans and with costumes and uniforms out and just the passion was awesome. And like I said, it's the standard for the XFL. I can't say enough about the great fans here in St. Louis and how they've received this. It's been amazing.
Is there a timeline for announcing where you're going to stage the championship game and that will be in St. Louis?
Not a timeline per se, but pretty standard operating procedure for us is we hold dates in all of our buildings that we plan. We even hold dates in some buildings we don't plan based on how we look at the metrics and what we want to do for championship number 2. So stay tuned.
Moving forward, will there be any other expansion teams across the U.S.?
That's a great question as well. We're going to look at everything to continue to grow the XFL. Right now, going into season 2, we will have an 8-team league again. So we'll continue under that premise. But we were looking at a variety of game planning as we move forward. I think about the here and now, but I'm also thinking 5 years down the road along with our staff. So a lot of interesting opportunities, I think, for us moving forward. But right now, we're going to operate under the same guidelines of last year.
In the same cities?
Yeah, right now everything is status quo as far as our cities, and we'll continue to evaluate everything across the board.
You guys had any conversations about the postseason clinchers and all that stuff? I know all that was very confusing.
Yeah, I was confused too. We have our meeting with our head coaches here in a few weeks. It's sort of our annual meeting. It's about a year to the day that we did it last year. Dean Blandino will be there. We'll go over rules, officiating, everything football related to the XFL. That's usually where we'll come out of that with maybe some nuances or change things That's pretty much when that happens. So we'll continue to evaluate everything. Never dreamt, in all seriousness, never dreamt that we would get that far down in the tiebreaker scenario. It's actually the exact same in the NFL. They've never utilized it. So the key to anything is keeping things simple. So we'll have to clean that up a little bit.
It was just the small amount of teams reason.
Yeah,
for
probably
this?
was, 32 versus 8, and I was in the NFL my whole career, and I didn't even know that really existed. And then when we were getting closer and closer to it, we were sort of like, oh boy, this is a little bit wonky. So we'll clean that up and take a hard look at it here in the next few weeks.
Still thinking the same structure as far as divisions and number of teams qualifying and whatnot?
Yes, same type of structure. We will evaluate the situation that occurred this year with the playoffs. We'll evaluate that. Looking back at it, some more thought needs to go into it. Now, at the end of the day, the team that everyone sort of complained that was in won the championship. But it's something that will be under review, which will make St. Louis fans happy, or maybe still mad, but happy.
Take care of business first. You don't have to complain, right?
That's right.
That's it.